Hello, what's going on? I gotta tell you, man, I gotta hate winter, dude. It's just, whew, I can't get nothing done. This has actually been one of the consistently coldest winters here in Maryland that we've had in quite a few years. I mean, this is how it used to be. But for a few years, generally we'd luck out until about February, and then it would, get cold and bitter cold. But it's been cold, it's been windy, the sun has barely been out ever in the last like 3 weeks, maybe a day here or there it pops out. It's been snowing, sleeting, it's been everything. Everything but beautiful sunshine, warmth, and I guess I gotta forget about that. Anyway, since it is, off season, there's really no car stuff going on. There's a few things that happens every now and again. This past weekend, I went and did one of those very few things. Carlisle Events, does all four nationals. Carlisle, they go to every year. I saw someone post they did like this. They hosted like a swap meet thing in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I'm like, oh man, Allentown's like 2.5 hours from me. I'm like, man, I really want to go to Allentown. Anyway, I stocked it up. I'm like, sure, let me go there. Maybe they'll have something for the Fiero or whatever. Generally, there's always some old stuff for GM cars I would find, even though there was absolutely nothing for anything remotely new. It was all like old hot rod stuff. It was still cool to check out. And, I was looking around. I didn't really want to spend money, but I didn't want to leave empty-handed. It was one of those deals. So I was looking around and ended up finding, this vendor had, because I go through electrical connectors like water, it seems, so I ended up getting like a whole bag of really nice heat shrink connectors that a little bit cheaper than what you get at the store. You save a couple bucks there. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm like, all right, well, I gotta do something better than that. So I was looking around, and there was this one table, this one vendor had a bunch of, hot rod stuff, but there was like some nice performance race parts and stuff, but it seemed to be more for older cars, like 60s, 70s, 80s, but I would say your traditional style hot rod. We're not talking about, high-end race fuel injection or anything like that. So it was very traditional race parts. So I was looking around on the table, and I noticed that he had a really interesting adjustable fuel pressure regulator. I'm like, you know what? I'm definitely going to need one for the Fiero. And I'm like, man, actually, let me look at it. They priced at $75. I'm like, well, I know they can go anywhere from this to well over $100, a few $100s. So I'm like, $75. So I take a closer look at it, which, by the way, this was sitting on top of the box. I think, so it was, sitting on top. I'm like, man, this is actually nice. I thought it was weird how it was set up, but it was definitely like a return style fuel pressure regulator, had a gauge and everything. I'm like, this is a beefy ass thing. Really easy to adjust with this knob here. So I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. So I quickly looked it up just to make sure I wasn't getting stung. This was like almost $60 on Summit plus $10 shipping. So I'm like, okay. And then you have because it doesn't come with the gauge when you buy it from Summit, and had this gauge already on there, which that guy, I don't know where he gets these gauges from, but he was selling the gauges individually for $25. Like, well, don't seem like that bad of a deal then. And then you got this fitting here that you get all this for $75. If the regulator is going to cost you close to $70 just to have it shipped from Summit. So I'm like, yeah, right. So it saves you a few bucks, right? One thing I didn't check. I checked to make sure this was a good brand, which it is, Speedmaster. Well, I won't say good, but it's decent. I checked to see if the price was fair. I did not check at all, and I guess perhaps maybe the gauge would have indicated that is the pressure in which this regulator works at. I was initially very, very, perplexed by the fact that it has 4 outlets. So I'm like, what the hell do you do with 4 outlets? I mean, theoretically, it could feed 4 individual injectors. I could feed, for a V8, I could feed 4 sets of injectors. But I realized very quickly this was not for fuel injection setups. This is for a carbureted setup, which makes a lot more sense with the multiple outlets on the lines. If you're running, you know, dual 4 barrels or something, you know, that's why you would need that. The operating pressure of this only goes up to 40 psi, which is under what fuel injection cars work at. So I'm like, oh my God. Oh geez, I can't believe I just spent $75 thinking I'm getting a good deal on something that I can't even use now. So I wasted gas driving 2.5 hours up to this place thinking I want to score a good deal on some parts. I spent $10 to get into this place so I could, you know, as an entry fee is $10 to get in. And then I think I get a good deal by buying something, and it turns out it's not even usable in my setup. Oh my God, I just wasted so much money. So anyway, I have a really nice fuel pressure regulator for sale. I'm not gonna need it, but like I said, that's for a carbureted setup, and I'm not looking to do any carb builds at the moment, so that's really no sense in sitting around. I gotta get it going. In fact, I have a lot of parts, as you can see here. I mean, a lot. I gotta clean up. I still haven't. It's been so cold that I have to get on the market. I mean, I have stuff like all this stuff, these, all this, a lot of this is actually on Facebook Marketplace, but I can't sell nothing. And I hate to put it on eBay because eBay takes so much of money for fees. Not to mention shipping right now is ridiculous. I don't want to eat the cost of shipping. So by the time I put my stuff up, you know, for a price I'm willing to take for it, in which most cases is very fair. I price my stuff what I feel like it really is worth as a used car part, not for almost new. So I try not to be greedy about it. But even by then, by the time I add the cost of shipping, it ends up making almost not really a good deal anyway. So it's really a pain to sell anything right now. And now I have this additional piece I'm gonna have to find someone who wants. And well, hopefully, I just want to get my money back. I don't care about all the other money I spent that day. If I can get 75 bucks for it, I'll be happy. Plus whatever shipping is going to cost if I have to ship it. I just can't believe I did that. I just thought I would share because I was just in disbelief. I'm like, you got to be kidding me when I figured out what I did. It was not a good time for me. It was a bad moment. So anyway, I thought I would just share that. Just find it funny, you know. I'm sure there's some relatable experiences other people have had doing the same thing. So anyway, actually I'm gonna do something a little bit different to end this video. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna try to consolidate some of the mumbo jumbo I spit out at the end of each video. Let me know how you think this ending's gonna go. Alright, so that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Be sure to keep a lookout for the next true car enthusiast video.